Here's your WNEM TV5 News Update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raven Blue. Here's a look at the top stories we're following tonight. The Genesee County Sheriff's Office helped deliver gifts to more than 250 homes as they continued their 5th annual Christmas Spectacular. A fleet of U-Haul trucks delivered them to families in need across the county. The packages hold a wide array of gifts like toys, essential care items, food, and Christmas decorations. They joined volunteers Friday to load up the care packages at a warehouse in Burton. Pickleball players in Genesee County have a new place to call home. The Serve Pro Sports Complex celebrating the launch of Chill Pickle, a new 30,000 square foot facility that holds 12 pickleball courts, plus a lounge where players can take a break and watch other players. The grand opening features a full slate of events from opening play to mini tournaments and free lessons. The Neighborhood Association Action Group inviting Saginaw residents to its bi-monthly meeting Tuesday. It will focus on neighborhood projects with the Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy and improvements to Crayola Park. There will also be updates from the police and fire chiefs. The meeting will be held at City Hall in the council chambers at noon. Now here's Chief Meteorologist Chris Eastlake with your first alert forecast.
Raven, we're keeping an eye on the roads tonight. We'll have a chance for a little bit of freezing rain late tonight and early tomorrow. Could be up to about 1/10 of an inch of ice in some of the areas that have the most, which could lead to slippery roads. But then we gradually warm up above freezing from south to north on Sunday morning, so it is not going to be an all-day thing. We do have winter weather advisories in place for most of the area. Those not under an advisory are likely not going to see much freezing rain, if any at all. Your TV5 First Alert Sky Tracker shows the system itself is still to the west of us, so it's going to be a while before it gets here. But later tonight, we do expect that system to move in and likely again start as a period of freezing rain before temperatures gradually warm up as we go through the night. It appears that by the time we get to 7 o'clock tomorrow, most of us are at the freezing mark or above, but then some of our northern counties are going to take a little bit longer, especially the far north, so some of those advisories go in place until 11 o'clock. Some scattered rain showers are possible during the second half of Sunday, but it's also not going to be an every second kind of rain. The areas that you see shaded in yellow, this is the winter storm severity index. It appears that those areas have the best chance for that 1/10 of an inch of ice, and the more road impacts could be found in those areas too. Once we warm up, we should have no trouble getting to the mid-30s to low 40s. And then as we take a look at the TV5 7-day forecast, we expect temperatures to cool down later this week after a warm day on Monday. We'll be back in the low 30s by Thursday and Friday, 20s by next Sunday.
Remember to tune into WNEM TV5 on air and online 24/7 for the latest news, weather, and information.